I Bleed Orange Sports Network. Live Saturday morning here, just a little bit before 11 o'clock, our IBO home office in Greer. And just going to do a little short and sweet show today. We're not going to go into not a lot going on. Of course, football season's a couple months out still. I think we're 120-something days. Basketball season's over. As far as like the major sports in Clemson, none of them are really going on right now except for baseball. And we're not having the kind of season we thought we were going to have after we got as high as number 8 and had all these high hopes. Went on a 3-game winning streak, but that was shut down by the Florida State Seminoles last night, number 12 Seminoles. So before we get started, a lot going on in the background here with I Bleed Orange and our parent company, the Ultimate Sports Network. We just reached an agreement with the Hall of Fame Sports Bar and Grill yesterday in Greenville, and we're going to be meeting there, doing a live show every Saturday. Well, I'm sorry, the first and third Saturdays of the month at 11:30. So your first third Saturday and your third Saturday of each month, we're doing a live show at 11:30. Me and Big Mike. We're also going to be doing trivia, and it's going to be a live sports show. We're going to be covering everything with the USN Network, the Ultimate Sports Network. We're really excited about that. Great place. They have 34 TVs. It's just, you haven't been there. It's like you're going into downtown Greenville, and it's got an out deck and a back deck and an out deck. And they got a big old like ESPN game day bus out there. Clemson players on it, Carolina Panthers, Gamecocks. It's like one of those ESPN buses. And we might actually do a show there, but we're going to be doing a trivia after we do the show. We'll do the show, do a trivia, and we'll be giving away a prize to, the runner-up and the winner and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Omar's excited. Me and Tam were talking about it. That guy, Mark, it's like he took over that, I guess it was last summer or something. He markets more and better than any sports bar I've seen in the country. They've always got something going on. So we're excited about building our brand, kind of having like a little home base to do a show every, twice a month, besides our live shows that we do. Welcome Hall of Fame Sports Bar and Grill. They actually got a band out there playing tonight. Breaking news, Pinky's Revenge is now an I Bleed Orange sponsor, and we're going to be doing a live show in downtown Greer. They're on Trade Street, 230 Trade Street, right downtown, right? Go to the railroad track right there. Coming down from Greer, they're going to be on the right-hand side, around the corner, right before you get to the railroad track. Jeremy's the guy who owns it. They used to be over in Taylor's, kind of off the beaten path. They moved locations. It's retro. It's cool, man. I feel like I go back into the 80s. You go in there. I may be wrong on this quote, but I think somebody told me, I thought they said you could spend $15 and play all day. Video games. They got the vintage pinball machines, Playboy, MASH, KISS, pinball machines. They got poker machines. Not poker machines. They got pool. You can play pool in there, and you got all kind of video games from Pac-Man to Galaga to Space Invaders to all that good stuff. I grew up playing that stuff. I'm gonna go there and play some games after we finish our show. I'm excited about it. Perfect location. You can buy drinks. They got ice cream. They got snacks. And you can walk around, play games. And they're opening like a speakeasy kind of bar downstairs, but that's not open yet. So they're on 230 Trade Street in Greer, Hall of Fame Sports Bar and Grill. Can't thank them enough for allowing us to partner with them. We're excited about building the Ultimate Sports Network brand. And they are at 531 Wade Hampton Boulevard going into downtown Greenville. Tam didn't want me to wear this shirt. I was messing around online. I saw Josh Pate wearing a T-shirt. She said, look, he just got out of bed. But he interviewed Dab in a white shirt. So if he's good enough to do it, I'm good enough to do it. And I kind of look up to him. He's come a long way and done a lot and gets a lot of traction. But he interviewed Dabo. I'm one of the most positive guys you'll ever meet in the history of the world. I always see my glass half full instead of half empty. But I also got to call it like it is. And, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything to make it sound good, to make people like me or not like me or whatnot. But, we have just, what's kind of on my mind in the off season is, and we talked about it. We do our podcast every Tuesday night at 7:30. And something Dabo said, I don't know, last October or something, that maybe we didn't appreciate what happened in 2016 and 2018. I was listening to the Roar this week, and you got to realize that's been 10 years ago, 2016, that we won a national championship. And then it's going to be another 10 years, another 2 years that we even won a national championship. And to be honest with you, I'm not being negative, I'm being honest. We haven't been relative in the last couple of years. And, it's kind of like this, folks, ladies and gentlemen. If you work a job and you decide you're not going to do your job for a couple months or so, and your boss comes to you and you say, well, hey, I had a really good year in 2016. Man, you remember I was employee of the month. It done yesterday's paper. We don't want yesterday's paper. Nobody wants yesterday's paper. What are we doing here and now? Okay. Dabo's job as a football coach is to win football games. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a Christian dude. I've met him several times. Great dude. But you're getting paid almost $12 million a year to do one thing and to win football games. You can mold men. You can have a high graduation rate. That's all great. But your number one job, the way I see it, if you're a football coach, is to win football games. And the problem being is, once you're at the top of the mountain, once you've been there, nothing will surpass that. You can't be satisfied with just going to playoffs. You can't be satisfied with just winning the ACC. Once you've been at the top of the mountain, you're never going to be satisfied, and you shouldn't be. And neither should the fans. And yes, I'm going on a rant. One of the saddest stories I ever saw was when Muhammad Ali retired, and Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest of all times. I mean, not only did he run his mouth, he backed at what he ran. One of the greatest fighters ever. I've always put up there, if Mike Tyson fought Muhammad Ali in the prime, who'd win? 98% of people say Muhammad Ali because he's one of the smartest boxers ever. When he was growing up, Larry Holmes' idol was Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali got old, he retired, and he came back out. If you ever saw this match, it was just sad. His childhood idol, Muhammad Ali, got in the ring with him, and Larry Holmes tore him up. And he said he wasn't even happy when he won. He said, I felt bad about it. So what I'm getting at is, once you've been on top, and if you can't get there anymore, and I think, Nick Saban, a lot of people wonder why he retired, greatest coach of all time, got most wins. Well, he saw the writing on the wall. I think he had a couple more years, but he didn't really want to do the NIL transfer portal. He went into all that. This time, I've done what I did. I've taken him to the mountain enough times. Let's get out while I'm on top. And now he's with ESPN and doing a great job and living probably a less stressful life than he was. So what I'm getting at is now it's all come down to money. Now you got Cade was making more money with Clemson than he's making with the New York Jets. God, New York Jets. I can't believe he went to the New York Jets. Maybe they'll make a turnaround, because the New York Jets consistently have been the worst NFL teams. God, they must have some loyal fans. Since Joe Namath played, they haven't been relative. They've been that bad. So hopefully that works out. But what I'm getting at, Cade's was making more money at Clemson than he got signed for the Jets, is what I saw online. That's what I saw. I don't know if that's accurate. You can't believe everything you see online. But it said he's making like $1.2 million with the Jets, and he was making more than that with Clemson. So you've got these big universities like Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State's got a lot of money, and Clemson's got money. And it gets to be who can buy a team. Who's got the money and who buy the team? And the problem is, Clemson went out there a little bit more and got 9 people out of the NIL this year. But we're not even ranked in the top 50 or something in recruits or something like that. And we've got only 2 people in the 100. Well, we've got 2 in the top 100 as far as players this year. Now, I'm not being a Debbie Downer. But I'm not drinking orange Kool-Aid. I will not drink the orange Kool-Aid this year. I will not drink it like I drank it last year. Yeah, I think Chad Morris was a great hire. I think, he's been with us before. He knows the team. He likes that fast, razzle-dazzle offense. He's not afraid to take a shot. I believe Gideon Davis. We'll have to see how our offensive line does, because, I don't care how good your running back quarterback is. If you ain't blocking, you're not gonna win many games. But saying the offensive line steps up, we got Gideon Davis, who I think is the closest to ETN that we've had since ETN. He gets off that mark. He's got speed. We got Jay Haynes back up. We got the guy from SMU. I personally would have gone out, because we had the money and your job's to win football games. I'd have gone out and got a quarterback, a stud. We should have. Yeah, Chris V's been with. We haven't seen a lot of them. Maybe I could be wrong there, But least the worst thing that could happen is they could competed with each other in the off season, and whoever best man win the job. But we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We picked up some people on defense. Receiving corps looking really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being a negative nanny. We had 9 people. It was like what, tied for second in the most people that went in the NFL draft. But I'm just saying, this mentality of Clemson can't be great again. Their days are over. You know, what you speak and what you think happens. You know, you keep saying that, it's going to keep happening. You know, nobody thought we were going to do it in 16, especially in 1981. So I'm tired of all this stuff about, well, look what we did in 2016, 18. I don't care. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting 2 hours of sleep, staying up all night, not being able to sleep. So I was so excited. Had to go to the dentist appointment. Best 2 hours sleep I ever got. Hunter Renfrow called that pass with Alabama. But life is lived now. As a football coach, as a football team, as a trash man, as a plumber, as a teacher, as a nurse, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, your life is lived now. And you can't live in the past, and you can't be satisfied with yesterday's news and yesterday's paper. It has nothing to do with today. So the mentality, I'm shouting out that nobody's got the balls to do this but me. Clemson needs to wake up and quit whining and complaining, quit making excuses. Use the portable. We all know who Bobby Knight was. He wasn't the greatest guy. I mean, you know, he got probably kicked out of more basketball games than any coach ever. He also won more basketball coaches than about any coach ever. His job was to win basketball games, and he should have been fired 100 times, but they wouldn't fire him, not because of personality, because he kept winning games. So you kind of want to you're there to win games, or you're there just to be a good guy, a good coach, a good moral thing. That's fine. But if you're with a major league team, a major league college basketball, football, baseball, your job, you're getting paid way too much money to live in the past as we did yesterday. I don't care about yesterday. I care about right now. I care about the first game. And then we get the second game. I care about the second game and third game and the fourth game. I don't want to say, well, look what we did in 2016. That's great. That's great. But it didn't do anything now. So anyways, I'm tired of this, like Clemson's never going to get back up the mountain. The reason you're not going to get back up the mountain, 2 people knelt down and just said, we're not going to be there anymore. And we don't care anymore. Yeah, if you want to win a national championship this year, you can. Oh, my God. You know, CBS Sports for Nelly, Cover 3 podcast, worst team we had last year since 2010. Clemson's doomed. Clemson's done. Clemson's doomed. That's what they're saying. Gloom and doom. All the media out there. Well, I'll tell you, we won't gloom and doom. We'll call it like it is, but it doesn't have to be gloom and doom. Nobody thought in 81 we'd win a national championship. Nobody. You know, we weren't even ranked going into the season. And anybody wants to know anything about sports, you need to watch 30 for 30, NC State, Jim Valvano, greatest sports story ever. Guy came down from New York, didn't fit into the ACC, Tobacco Road. You had Coach K. You had Dean Smith. They didn't really get along with him. They thought he was a strange dude that talked funny. He went into the court, called his team members into the court before they even started, when he got hired, had him get up on a ladder and cut down a net. Cut down the net. And they thought he was crazy. He says, it may not happen this year. It may not happen next year, but soon you'll be cutting down a net. And by God, that was one of the greatest success stories ever when they came out of nowhere and beat 5 Bama Jamma, Houston, in the national championship. You know the story. He got cancer now. They got a cancer foundation, ended up dying. But just one of the greatest coaches ever. He got the job done. And, man, they were way out talented. They beat in the ACC tournament, they beat Michael Jordan and Sam Perkins, UNC, one of the best basketball teams probably ever compared to Houston. This debatable. They beat Ralph Sampson, Virginia. They took them all down, and they kept advancing. And they won the national championship. Weren't even supposed to be in the mix, man. So I'm tired of all this stuff about it's over with. It's over if you want it to be over. You know? I mean, you ever watch Animal House? John Belushi gets, they're not saying it's over when they bombed Pearl Harbor. Come on, man. It's time to wake up, live in the now, quit living in the past, quit hearing these speeches about, I'm sorry, Dabo. Yeah, we appreciate what you did in 2016, 18. But what are we doing now? Talking about the past, talking about what we did in 16 and 18 and just resting on that? I don't know any other profession you can do that. You know, if you're a plumber and all of a sudden you decide one week you don't want to go fix people's toilets and stuff in their septic tanks, You're not going to be a good plumber very long. Well, I worked good last week. I had a good year last year. Well, you better get your butt out there and fix some toilets and fix some sewage because your job. And if you're a waitress and you get taken order and you don't take the food back to them, well, hell, I had a good night last night. I don't really need to work today. I had a great night. I made a lot of tips last night, but I don't feel like giving my best tonight. And you see what kind of tips she gets. So what I'm getting at, sports folks, sports is a lot like life. You prepare for the game, you get ready mentally, your coaches, you practice, you make errors, you correct your mistakes. It's kind of like the game of life. You get out there, and I know it's just a game. You get out there, what you got, just like you do in life. Whether you're a lawyer, you're preparing for a case, you're a doctor preparing for surgery. It's just like life. It's a good experience. How you could, that's why I love sports. I played sports. You're competing, and you want to do your best, but you don't want to get to a point where the best thing that happened in Clemson sports area in the past 365 days was the George Strait concert. 90,000 people. See, George Strait. I didn't go. I feel like I'm not part of the cool crowd. Not a big country fan. I like some of the songs. I think it's great. But George Strait's the biggest thing that hit Clemson because it ain't happening in sports. And I hate to say it, it all goes to the coach. Every job, every football team, baseball team, basketball team, it starts at the coach. Because what happened when when NC State was terrible, and all of a sudden Jim Von Velden the coach came down, changed everything. What happened when the Green Bay Packers in the late 60s sucked? Vince Lombardi came on. Then they went to a couple Super Bowls. What happened to Dallas when they were here? We had Don Johnson on our podcast. And he said, yeah, I was there before Roger started. I said, oh, you're there when Dallas really sucked, right? He goes, yeah. And I said, but that changed when Tom Landry came on board. And it's always been them. And, then we went through these bad years and he fired Tom Landry. And, being a Cowboys fan, Jimmy Johnson, boom, came from Miami, went to Dallas, winning national championships in Miami, came to Dallas, took us 3 Super Bowls. Huh? What's the difference? It's the coach. It's the coach. It's the coach. And we're going to pay these guys $12 million a year, $6 million, $5 million. Your job's to win games, Yeah, it's better to have the whole package. But, I guarantee you, if Bobby Knight wasn't winning basketball games, he would have been fired his first year. The only reason they put up with him is because, he was a jerk. He was an asshole. He didn't tell you he was. He got suspended a couple times. Finally, just had to let him go. I think he hit a player or something at practice, and they had it on camera. But, as long as he was winning games, we've had some downtimes. It doesn't need to continue. It doesn't need to continue. That's what I saw some post on Facebook about 3 days ago from somebody that works at Clemson Media about, hey, the days are over. We may never see an ass. Who says it's over? You do? It's not over unless you say it's over. So I just challenge anybody in the Clemson sports athletic department, coaching, field, quit that negative talking. Grow a pair, get out there, and let's start being the Clemson that we are. We are Clemson. Best is the standard. I'm not going to get on here and whine about, we need to change it, And if you got the money, like Ohio State does, and they go out there and they buy a team. Georgia, they buy a team. Michigan, buy a team. Clemson's got the money, but they don't really buy. They piddle in it. Look, we're doing a little bit better. We got 9 people. We got, a couple over here on defense we needed. And, we got a couple on offense. But now we're done. We're done. I forgot it. We're not even really in the top ranking as far as recruiting in NIL this year. And so, yeah. Do I like the NIL? Hell no, I don't like it. I don't like the NIL. I think it's ruined college football. But it is what it is. And the thing is this, guys. You got to play. You got to roll the changes. If that's the way it is, you got to play the game that he played. If it's the NIL, then you got to dip in, or you don't need to coach, or you don't need to be in the game, because that's what everybody's doing. And it gives a lot of teams an unfair advantage. And and Clemson doesn't have excuses because Clemson's got money. Clemson, like Georgia, but the teams that it really hurts is the smaller teams, the smaller colleges that don't have the money to pay these players. And do I like the NIL? No, I don't like it at all. I think it's ruined college football. Am I going to quit watching college football? Heck no. I love college football. I just think the NIL wasn't necessary, but it is what it is. If it is what it is, you gotta adapt to the changes. You've got to adapt to the changes. Just whining about it. But if Ohio State's buying a team, why did Clemson buy a team? That's what the NIL money's for, right? Huh? and then saying we're graduating more than everybody else. And that's great. That's great. That's great. You know, our players aren't getting in a lot of trouble like they do down, excuse me, Tam, like they do down there in Georgia. Not a lot of rest. That's great. You know, and we understand that a lot of these players, you know, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it's not high. It's 4% or less. They're actually going to the NFL, and then how long they're going to last. So a lot of them, you know, you got to prepare for a life outside of college. But, you know, 1981, Clemson wasn't expected. Danny Ford came on soon. Bam. Next thing we know, we're winning a national championship. 2016, I saw maybe a promise or so with Deshaun and all. You know, he came on board, but I didn't expect it. And we went, you know. So where are those years? They're right here. They want them to be. They're right here. They're right here. What's the difference between 2016 and 26? 10 years. And the way we mindset, the way we look at the game, and the way we focus on the game, the way we adapted with the changes and use the NIL and tap into that and quit saying Clemson's dynasty is over. It's over because you say it's over. You know, did the United States, when Pearl Harbor got bombed, crawl up in a cave and says it's over? No, we got back up and dropped bomb on Hiroshima. Huh? That's if you want to win games. If you don't care about winning games, you want to sit around and complain. And you want to hear, I hear fans say this, and this makes me sick. Well, you're one of them fair weather fans, you know. You weren't here back in Tommy West days, you know, like it's some kind of badge you wear. Look, I was born in Clemson, 1968, right off Sloan Avenue, not even a mile from the stadium. I was going to games in my home. I've never been a fair weather fan. I pull for us, but I will not sit down and take a beating and to say, like, it's over. We're no good anymore. We're never going to be where we were. I'm not the guy to say that. I'm not the guy. You know, maybe Dabba could say that, whoever. I'm not saying that. Now, I'm ranting. I'm ranting today. I didn't want to do a short one, but I'm just tired. I'm tired of hearing that BS. You know, the BS is BS if you say it. You know, if you're going to say that and think that, it's going to happen. But you can easily change that. It's all a thought and a mindset, and you can change that. And because, my God, man, I had the orange Kool-Aid out, and you guys watching this right now, and ladies, if you're a Clemson fan, you were drinking the orange Kool-Aid with me. And Paul Feinbaum was drinking the orange Kool-Aid. We were all drinking. It was some good tasting Kool-Aid. Oh, it tasted so good. And then we got into about 4 or 5 games in the season. Next thing you know, we're sitting at 3-3. And that Kool-Aid didn't taste so good. So I'm not drinking that orange Kool-Aid. I think we've done some very positive things on the off season. You know, I like the Chad Morris. I think it's a great hire. I feel good about the offense. I can't really comment on CB because the only time I saw him play was in the SMU game, and he did fairly well. If I remember correctly, I had we almost won that game, but he played fairly well. But we haven't seen a lot of him. And you know, God forbid, he could have transferred. He stayed with us. He stuck with us patiently, waiting back. It's his day to play. I'm assuming he's going to be the one that's going to start. So, I mean, maybe he can, you know, if he can be as good as Todd Boyd somewhere in there, good as Homer Jordan. That's all we need. It have to be great. If he's great, that's great. All he's got to do is be good, and everybody else play their positions as a team. You know, one player ain't going to do it all. Defense steps up, offense steps up, quarterback steps up. Mindset needs to step up. Mindset needs to step up. Go on there and Google. If you don't believe me, Google Clemson football and start reading some of the articles out there, what you're seeing. And who started this thinking that our glory days are over? Who's thinking that? I'm not thinking that. If I was the coach, I'd be like, dude, people, we're winning a national championship this year. I don't care what we got to do. We got to get up 4 o'clock in the morning and run laps. We're running laps. My job as a football coach is to win football games. So, you know, you get paid that kind of money. You know, something's got to change. It's been 10 years. It's gotten. This is the year that there's no longer. There can't be. If we have another year like we had last year, there's no excuse. There's no. It's been the glory days. It's been a decade. It's been a decade. Okay, and that's 10 years downtime's too much. So this is the year. I think to make or break our football team. This is the year we need to quit thinking all this negative stuff. We need to quit complaining about yesterday and saying, oh, you don't appreciate because you weren't here around Tommy West days. Yes, I was. Anything that happened after December 8th, 1968, I was around Clemson. I was born right down from the stadium. I was doing the Tiger chant in my mom's womb because she was going to games with my dad. How about that? Fair weather fan. I've never missed. I was in the hospital one time. I've never missed a Clemson football game. I ended up in the hospital years ago, and the nurse, I had to get her in there, and she had to turn the TV on the Clemson game. And I was cheering. You could hear me down the hallway. I'm one of the biggest Clemson fans you ever meet. And you know, at the end of the day, it's just a football game. But then again, it's it's kind of a way of life, college football and sports. And so, anyways, I'm not drinking the orange Kool-Aid. People ask me what I think. I'm blank. I'm blank. I'm not saying we're going to be 7-6. I'm not saying we're going undefeated. I don't know. I've got to see 3 games behind me before I even say anything. All I can say is we made some positive changes. I do like the Chad Moore's hire. I like the weapons. I mean, we got weapons. We got the receiving core looks really, we're finally getting back to receiving core university. We got all those guys back. Seems like we got some guys on defense, but I'm not drinking orange Kool-Aid, and I'm not living in the past. I'm not drinking orange Kool-Aid, and I ain't living in the past. I'm being realistic. And I appreciate what happened. I appreciate what happened in 1981. And we won in and I saw the 1981. I was here for that. And that was incredible. We went 35 years, and I'll never forget Ben Boulware getting on after we won it. Said, Clemson, we're coming back. It's been 35 years. We're bringing it home. Man, that got me emotional. I don't want to have to wait another 35 years. So quit talking about glory days. The glory days are now if you want them to be. All right. So, Hall of Fame, Sports Bar and Grill, 34 TVs. Omar's got something going on there all the time. This guy's he had a foam party in the parking lot, raising money. He's got a band tonight. They got karaoke one night. You need to come to our sports trivia. It's going to be not under Obsolete Orange. It's going to be under the Ultimate Sports Network, which we got another YouTube channel for that. We're going to be giving away prizes. We're going to do a live show. We're going to do the trivia at the end. Everybody's going to be able to play the trivia. Did a little trivia yesterday. It is fun. It's addicting. And so we're excited about that partnership. And we're going to be covering all sports, not just Clemson. Don't get me wrong. I love Clemson. But if Georgia and Alabama are playing in the national championship, it's just hard for Obsolete Orange to cover that. So the Ultimate Sports Network will cover that. But all the Clemson stuff, Obsolete Orange will be covering. Ultimate Sports Network will be covering anything from baseball, soccer. We're doing the World Cup. Yep. We're doing soccer. And then we'll be doing Wimbledon tennis. So we'll be covering everything year round. So I don't know. Baseball, I don't look like we're going to have any postseason play unless something really changes. We're going on that 3-game win streak. I don't know. It'd be a miracle if we can have any postseason. We really don't deserve it. We have not played that good. I mean, we look good. We got up to number 8, got off to a great start. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And not being negative, it's not the kind of season I thought we'd have. Basketball, then again, we went out too early. I should have made a run in the NCAA. So that's 2 years in a row that's happened. From the Muniz thing, I thought the basketball team looked really good. Thing about Brad Barnell is that I kudos to him. He does use the portable, and we lost just about everybody but one guy. And we've been recruiting real good, dipping in the NIL. We will have a whole new team when basketball season starts. I think he's done real well with that. The only thing I can say about Clemson basketball, we need to finish it good. We've had a couple good seasons. We wouldn't expect this 10 years ago. I mean, Clemson basketball is just kind of a secondary thing to football. But after that, Elite 8 run, and then the last 2 seasons we had, regardless of the postseason, were some of the best seasons we had in basketball, showing some improvement, showing the ability that we can be a contender. Some of these teams like, used to be Duke and Kentucky and all these teams. We just need to finish it. And, of course, we lost one of our main players during the NCAA tournament. Breaking news. I don't like it. But I just heard this. We've gone from 64 teams to 75. Here's a game for you. Here's a spot for you. Here's a bid for you. Hey, Walford. Hey, Citadel. Hey, a couple of places. I don't know, man. There's got to be a point where you got to stop it. 64, I thought was a lot. Now we're going to 75. We're going to get up to 100. Everybody goes to NCAA. I don't like it. And, and I'm hearing talk and chatter in the background about them putting more teams in the playoffs. I don't like that either. Now when it was 4 teams, it meant something. To get, and you'd sit there on Sunday when they're doing that pick, and your team's right on the bubble there, and they have 3 teams that picked yours. And I remember I was down in Atlanta watching it, and Clemson ain't been picked, and all of a sudden we got in there at 4, and I'm like, whoa, made it just a little bit more impactful, a little more valuable. I don't think, I do kind of like the fact that we did kind of add on, but I don't think we need to go anywhere above 12 teams in college football playoffs. It just takes away from the value of the college football playoffs. I think you start getting up to 17, 20, whatever they want to do. And I know why they're doing it. It's why they do everything. All this stuff's going on. It's called M-O-N-E-Y. M-O-N-E-Y. Money. It's not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Money is actually good if it's used right. But saying that, it's money. The more bids we have, the more money they make, more commercials, more sponsorships, more advertising, more what revenue comes in. But 12's enough. Please do not go above 12. And if you're not in the top 12, and the good thing about 12, it gets those teams on the outside fringes. Maybe they're not in the top colleges and actually get in there and have a chance in a bid to play for the national championship. Because when UFC went undefeated for like two and a half years, they never made it. Now they got a chance to be in there. So you got teams like that can get in, and it makes it a little bit more interesting. But there's got to be a stopping point. I don't know why who watches the NIT anyways? It's kind of like, well, Auburn. I think Auburn won the NIT this year. Clemson has been to the finals, I think, twice. But it's like, who cares? When you talk about March Madness, you're not talking about the NIT. And I don't think we need more than 64 teams, but I don't run the NCAA, and so we're going to have 75 teams. More basketball, I guess. More money. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Pinky's Revenge. I love the name. I used to be addicted to Pac-Man when I was growing up. Take my quarters up to the bowling alley and sticking them in Pac-Man. And my brother was so good at video games, he could take a quarter and play all day long. He had like a high score on all those games up there, stayed up there for like a year. I don't know where he got that talent. But anyways, it's kind of like going in there, walking back in the arcade in the 80s. A lot of memories there. Pinball, pool, get you a drink, get you some ice cream, play some pinball, play some Galaxy, Donkey Kong. It's on like Donkey Kong. So now saying that, we're doing a live show, 2:30 Trade Street, downtown Greer, right downtown Greer at Pinky's Revenge. Me and Big Mike are going to break it down like nobody can. Join us live next week. We will not be here. We will be out on the street. Hopefully it's not raining. We kind of want to do it out on the sidewalk. If it's raining, we'll have to come inside. So go down there and check them out. It's a cool place. I don't know many places like that around. I mean, you used to see them all the time around the 80s, but it's a little different, something fun to do. And play some video games and some pinball and some pool. What else? Sorry I missed the George Strait concert, but that probably brought in more revenue than any football game that we had. But glad to see concerts coming back to Clemson. Supposed to have a couple more coming this. I know the country got Morgan or something like that. Not big in the country, but they're doing some stuff outside the box. Bananas came in. Love to have Rush, Rolling Stones, somebody like that. By the way, Rolling Stones got a new record album. Unbelievable. You talk about somebody doesn't live in the glory days. These guys are like 80. I mean, the Beatles hung it up, 72 or something, or 69, and then Stone's still going. Keith Richards could be coming to our funerals. He'll be around forever. All right, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate our sponsors. Also, Vapor Nation we do have a live show for them for the LSU game. We don't have a time on the LSU game. I'm assuming that it's going to be a night game because it's LSU in Baton Rouge. So the LSU game sold, and the Clemson Carolina game is sold, which will be the Thanksgiving week. And we'll have to do it like we usually do it on Tuesday, which is kind of strange, but we can't really do it on Good Friday, Black Friday, whatever you want to call it, Black Friday, because everybody's out shopping and nobody's working. And so anyways, we had a lot of openings, and we're also going to be selling some trivia sponsorships for the shows that we're doing at the Hall of Fame. We'll get the details out on that. Remember, Aflac trivia, you'll have USN trivia. All right. The best is yet to come. Not being a negative nanny. Let's go. Let's look forward. The best is yet to come. And all God's children said, go Tigers.